What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is the final point guard tier list for NBA 2K19 MyTEAM. So I made these videos about 6 or 7 weeks ago, actually probably almost 2 months ago at this stage. But a lot has changed in my team in the last 2 months. 2 months ago, the best point guard in the game, you could argue, was the Opal Walt Frazier, and there was a grand total of 1. Actually, sorry, no, there was three. But 2 of them, Isaiah Thomas, CB3, and Grape. There's a grand total of 1 good Opal point guard. And kind of in my S tier, still had like Pink Diamond, Gilbert, Arenas. So I decided that I'm going to make an updated list. This was my last point guard list. I'm going to leave it up on the screen right now. And it's crazy how much the game has changed. We had Lonzo Ball on this list and Ruby DeLon Wright. That's how long ago it was. So basically, we got all the Opals. Then I picked, I think I picked 10 other players from other tiers that I think deserve to be somewhere on this list. And also, almost every card being on this list is a good card. None of them are bad. And also, we are only going to be using the best version of every specific player. So, okay, now we are going to get onto it. We're going to start off with the Pink Diamonds and lower. First up is Penny Hardaway. And Penny Hardaway, whereas he would have been in S tier back 2 months ago, is going into B tier. A bit of a long release, although he is he is fast, he can dunk really well and is a good card. But again, there are cards that are better than it, but being in B tier still is good on this list. Next we got Marquel Fools, who I'm also going to put in B tier. Marquel Fools, 6'4", a little bit smaller than Penny, although he's got a really good release, great dunk stats, and just a beast of a card. Michael Carter-Williams, going 1 tier below. 6'6", good release. I can't believe I forgot about him when I was doing my best Amethyst squad, and I put DeJounte Murray in instead. Michael Carter-Williams by far the best Amethyst point guard. Next we've got John Wall. I'm putting John Wall in A tier. If you guys have ever seen me use John Wall, I am money with his release. He's one of the point guards that I really like in this game, and you guys might call me crazy for putting him in this tier, especially when you see some of the guys that I have in B tier. But no, I'm going to put John Wall in A tier. I just really like that card. B tier is De'Aaron Fox. As I said in my top 100 cards, De'Aaron Fox is John Wall with a slightly worse jump shot. Kyrie Irving, really nice release, really good leaner, can do everything pretty well, but again, I don't think he's as good as any of these 3 guys, so I'm going to put him in C tier. Baron Davis is going to go into B tier. Limitless range, great dunker, decent release. D'Angelo Russell is... The weird thing with D'Angelo Russell is I don't dislike his release, but from a standing shot, it's terrible. Although his leaner is good. 6'5", is fast enough, decent card. I'm going to put him in C tier. Like, not bad, but not like as good as any of these 4 cards, which I think, or any of the 5 cards above, which I think are all really good. Next, we've got Jimmer. Jimmer has got limitless range. He's got a really nice release, but he is just too small and kind of just ineffective at going to the basket. A little bit like Kyrie Irving, but I'm going to put him in C tier. I don't think he's anything spectacular, but I don't think he's bad either, so that's why he's going into there. And to be honest, I probably put some of your favorite players in lower tiers. This is just my opinion. I have to say that again before I get bombarded by dislikes. Dame Lillard is almost a carbon copy of Baron Davis. I'm pretty sure they have almost the same animations. They're like the same height. So Dame Lillard goes in the same tier as Davis. Now we are on to the Opals, the cards that really matter. So Steph Curry can be dangerous, as I said in my video yesterday. Like, if you're playing as an on-baller, you're playing against someone who doesn't really respect Steph Curry, he can light teams up. If you're playing as the hard off-ball Magic Johnson, a hard off-ball Giannis, a hard off-ball LeBron, hard off-ball Simmons, hard off-ball, heck, even Jonathan Isaac, or Grant Hill, you will not score with Steph Curry. And that is the reason why, at his best, he is without doubt an S-tier player, but because there are certain situations where he can be rendered useless, I'm going to have to put him in A tier. At the same time, he is still super dangerous with that jump shot, and he also can dunk a little bit, which is a little bit crazy for Steph Curry. Next, we're on to Magic Johnson. Magic is going up here into S tier. Magic has got a not great release, although he's got good 3-point rating. He's good at going to the basket, great post game, and is 6'9", so he's not going to get bullied. Oscar Robertson is going into A tier. He's got the amateur release, one of the most underrated point guards in the game. Great post game, great defense, isn't going to get bullied. 6'5", strong, and is just a really good card. Like, again, there is nothing that Oscar Robertson can't do in game. It's just I know, he just feels slow. Everything he does feels a little bit sluggish, which is why he's not in S tier. Lonzo Ball, I have him as like even to Oscar Robertson. A little bit better release for Lonzo, but they're almost identical stats-wise. Now we're on to Gary Payton. Gary Payton has got good stats. They actually sped up his release. 6'4", elite defender. I'm putting Gary Payton in A tier. And that's kind of, I don't know, he's probably hovering between A and B, but I'm going to lean towards A because you guys hate me putting cards between tiers. Gary Payton, they definitely upgraded his release from the Pink Diamond anyway, which is a little bit slow. But it's still not the best release in the world, but overall it's a good card. Great fadeaway. He's got great defensive stats and is just a beast. Next we have got Ben Simmons. Simmons, without doubt, the best position point guard in my team, is going into S tier. A beast of a card. Next we have got Tony Parker. And it's just kind of unfortunate. He's small. Even though he's fast, he can shoot the mid-range a little bit. Like, he's not as good as Jimmer or Kyrie Irving. He's probably not as good as D'Angelo Russell and White Carter Williams. But I can't justify putting him in the lowest tier. Because he's not awful. Like, he's usable. Actually, no, he's not. He's barely usable. But he's not absolutely terrible. So I'm going to put him in C tier. Speaking of someone that's absolutely terrible, I really like Kyle Lowry in real life. Trust me, I do. I think he's a really good player. I think he's seriously underrated, and I think he may lead the Raptors to the playoffs next year, even without Kawhi Leonard. But he's D tier. Like, his release is meh. Not awful, not great. He's also not the fastest, got not the best badges, not the best stats for an Opal, no limitless range, and is 6'1". He is just not very good in 2K. That's all I'm going to say. He is just not very good. Next up, we have got Trey Young. Trey Young can be dangerous as well, but I hate his jump shot. I actually hate his jump shot. The Trey Young, Kevin Huerter jump shot, it's fine when he's wide open to catch two situations. But like, when you're trying to get him open for shots, it's really difficult. That's why I'm putting him down as C tier. Very similar to someone like a Jimmer for that. And Steph Curry is kind of the exception for these guys. Can't really dunk, not particularly athletic, because Steph's just so dangerous when he's left open, a lot more so than the likes of Jimmer, Kyrie, and Trey Young as well. Now we are on to Walt Frazier. Walt Frazier moves down one tier from the last tier list and into A tier. Walt Frazier has got base 11, no limitless range, but is a great defender, great stats, and is just a solid card in game. Still a really good point guard, still a card that you can definitely use at the point guard position, and definitely a card that if you... Actually, I'm not going to say he's worth 750 tokens, because he's probably not, but you won't regret picking up for 750 tokens. Next, we've got Chris Paul. Chris Paul is obviously going into S tier. The best point guard in the game. He is absolutely terrible. Oh my god. Like, actually, no, he's better than Larry. He has got one of the worst releases in the game. CP3 has one of the worst releases in the game for a point guard. He is 6 foot tall, and his stats are incredible. They are incredible. He's got incredible badges, but terrible release on being 6 foot tall puts him all the way down into D tier. Next, we have got Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose has got Hall of Fame limitless, really nice release, really great dunker, athletic. He's going into A tier. There's no doubt about it. He was the original Steph Curry with a 40-inch vertical, or Steph Curry actually with perfect vertical stats 99. So Steph Curry with a 50-inch vertical. The original one was Derrick Rose, and yeah, just a beast of a card. Next up is John Stockton, who I'm going to put into C tier. John Stockton is a really good card. I've been killed by Stockton a few times, which is a bit weird, but has got a fast release. He's got great stats, an unbelievable defender, one of the best at stripping players in the game. Doesn't belong higher than this because he's 6'1", but again, definitely in C tier, definitely not D tier. Next, we've got Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook is Derrick Rose with a worse release. He is going into John Stockton's going to this tier. Russell Westbrook is going into B tier. Sure, he's got unbelievable stats, but his release is so weak that I can't justify putting him up there with these guys in A tier. A good card, yes. Usable, yes. All of these cards C tier and above are usable. Even some of the, like C tier and above, they're usable. You can use them and you're going to be fine. But Westbrook is just, he's not as good as Rose, he's not as good as Wall in my opinion, and I love that John Wall card. That is just my personal opinion, I much prefer Wall. But yeah, Westbrook down here in B tier. Fred VanVleet is going into C tier. Really small, but has limitless range and a good release, which is why he's slightly ahead of Kyle Lowry. Gilbert Arenas is going up into S tier. Gilbert Arenas is Steph Curry, but he's a better dunker. He is equally as dangerous as Steph Curry when left open, one of the best releases in the game, one of the fastest pace 11 releases in the game, does not miss when he's open, and can take over a game. He's one of the few little guys that can take over a game. That's why I always say him and Steph Curry are the little guys that can't dunk, that can take out, well, that you're not using to dunk, that can take over a game with their jump shot, and definitely a spot in S tier for Gilbert Arenas. And last up is Steve Nash. Or say not last up, Steve Nash is next. Steve Nash is going to B tier. If he had his original release, he'd be down in C tier, but he's got base 8. Base 8 limitless range, great passing stats, great defensive stats for some reason. Steve Nash without doubt in B tier. And then we have got Isaiah Thomas in C tier. Not quite bad enough to put him down there with these two guys. 6'1", a much better release than someone like Kyle Lowry, better stats, and it's just a solid card. Not a great card, but not terrible either. So yeah, I'm going to put him in C tier because depending on your opponent, he may be usable. So anyway, that's the video. This is the tier list for point guards. Again, I can't stress this enough. This is my opinion. Before you guys say it's wrong, it is an opinion. An opinion based on using all of these cards and cards that I personally like using. But anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.